I spent about 6 hours this week pulling insurance data on every major pickup truck sold in the US and Canada. Premium rankings, theft reports, crash test scores, repair cost breakdowns. And I'll be honest with you, some of what I found genuinely caught me off guard. Because there's a quiet shift happening in the insurance industry right now. Not every truck is being treated equally anymore. 5 specific models are getting flagged, surcharged, or in one case, flat out rejected by major insurance carriers. And the wildest part is that your dealership has zero incentive to mention any of this before you sign. So today we're breaking down the 5 trucks that insurance companies are quietly punishing in 2025, starting with one that might already be sitting in your driveway. Number 5. The Chevrolet Silverado 1500. The Silverado has a reputation for dependability, and in a lot of ways, it earns that. But here's what the NICB data actually shows. The Silverado 1500 was the most stolen truck in America in 2024, with 21,666 units taken. In Texas alone, over 6,400 Silverados disappeared in a single year. And the Highway Loss Data Institute, which tracks insurance claims per 1,000 insured vehicles, found that pickups as a class have a theft claim rate of 0.91, exactly double the 0.45 average for all vehicles. The average pickup theft claim cost nearly $67,000. That's not a fender bender. That's a total loss. The method is almost always a relay attack on the keyless entry system. A thief stands near your front door with an amplifier, captures your key fob signal through the wall, and transmits it to a second device next to the Silverado in your driveway. 30 seconds. No broken glass. Gone. GM actually faced a class action lawsuit over this vulnerability, but the Silverado is just the entry point. The next truck on this list is dealing with something I've never seen before in the American or Canadian truck market. Number 4. The Ram 1500. I personally think this is the most underrated story in the truck world right now because it's not happening in the US. It's happening in Canada, and it's coming south. Multiple Canadian insurance companies have started imposing explicit surcharges, specifically on the Ram 1500. CAA Insurance in Ontario charges a $1,500 surcharge just for owning one. Intact Insurance adds $500. Gore Mutual, Wawanesa, same thing. Some companies like Economical Insurance are offering to install free tracking devices as an alternative, which should tell you how serious the problem is. Why? Because the Ram 1500 is the second most stolen vehicle in all of Canada, with over 3,000 units taken in 2024. A vehicle is stolen every 5 minutes in Canada, and stolen trucks are shipped overseas through the ports of Montreal and Halifax. Canada Border Services intercepted over 2,200 stolen vehicles in 2024 alone. Ontario theft claim costs exploded 329% between 2018 and 2022, jumping from $160 million to $700 million. And this is where I think American Ram owners need to pay attention. Insurance trends that start in Canada's theft crisis tend to migrate into U.S. underwriting models within 18 to 24 months. Now, the next truck on this list isn't getting stolen whole. The problem is actually more expensive than that. Number 3. The Toyota Tundra. If you're finding this useful so far, hit subscribe. We break down truck data like this every single week. Alright, here's the deal with the Tundra. I've always respected this truck. Toyota reliability, solid resale, great drivetrain. But the Tundra has one brutal weakness that Toyota has never adequately addressed, and it's underneath the truck. The Toyota Tundra is the single worst vehicle in America for catalytic converter theft. The Martin County Sheriff's Office in Florida has flagged it as having the highest catalytic converter theft rate of any vehicle nationally. The reason is chemistry. Toyota catalytic converters contain up to 4 times the precious metals of competing brands, specifically higher concentrations of platinum, rhodium, and palladium. And the Tundra's generous ground clearance means a thief can slide underneath with a battery-powered saw and remove the converter in under 2 minutes without even using a jack. The replacement cost is between $6,000 and $10,800 per incident. OEM parts can take 1 to 4 months to arrive. And with rhodium prices climbing back above $10,400 an ounce in early 2026, thefts are rebounding hard after a brief dip. Street. Paul. Minnesota saw catalytic converter incidents nearly triple in 2025. This is one of those situations where I genuinely wish the data told a different story, because the Tundra gets so much right. But a single converter theft can wipe out 2 years of fuel savings versus a competitor. And speaking of hidden repair costs, the next truck on this list has a problem that only shows up after you've already been in an accident. Number 2, the Ford F-150. The F-150 is the best-selling vehicle in America for a reason. But two things are quietly inflating its insurance profile in ways that most buyers never see on the sticker. First, the crash test results. The IIHS tightened its testing criteria for 2024 and 2025, and the F-150 scored poor in the updated moderate overlap front test. The Silverado scored poor in 2 separate tests. The Ram 1500 also scored poor. In fact, the only full-size truck that earned Top Safety Pick Plus was the Toyota Tundra Crew Cab. IIHS President David Harkey noted that the new emphasis on backseat protection eliminated most pickups from the winners list, which matters because crew cab trucks are increasingly used as family vehicles. Second, and this is the one that really got me, is ADAS repair costs. AAA tested the F-150 specifically and found that advanced driver assistance sensors now represent nearly 38% of repair costs in common collision scenarios. A side mirror replacement on an ADAS-equipped F-150 costs over $1,000 because the camera is only available as a complete assembly. A windshield replacement with sensor recalibration runs about $1,440, roughly double a standard windshield, and Ford requires OEM glass only for these replacements, so you can't shop around for aftermarket. Every one of these costs gets factored into your premium, whether you've ever filed a claim or not. But everything we've talked about so far is a surcharge, a higher premium, a bigger repair bill. The last truck on this list crossed a line that no other mainstream vehicle has crossed. Number 1. The Tesla Cybertruck. This is the only truck in America that insurers are actively refusing to cover. In October 2024, Geico, the second largest auto insurer in the country, sent termination letters to Cybertruck owners. The letters stated that this type of vehicle doesn't meet their underwriting guidelines. Hanover Insurance followed, citing limited production and extraordinary repair costs. Some owners reported minor fender bender repairs, quoted at $13,000 or more. The average annual insurance premium for a Cybertruck sits around $4,649. That's roughly double what you'd pay for a gas-powered full-size truck. Some owners in high-cost states reported premiums approaching $1,000 per month. I'll be straightforward with you. Whether you love or hate the Cybertruck, the insurance math is the insurance math. When one of the largest carriers in the country says they won't write a policy on your vehicle, that's a data point you can't ignore. So what does all of this actually mean for your next truck purchase? The data shows 3 things clearly. First, geography matters as much as the truck itself. The gap between insuring a truck in Louisiana versus Vermont can exceed $2,500 per year. Second, trim selection is massive. An F-150XL versus a Lightning Platinum creates an $866 annual insurance gap within the same nameplate. And third, the real cost isn't just the premium, it's the theft exposure, the converter vulnerability, and the repair complexity that compounds over 5 years of ownership. Click any of these videos on screen if they interest you, and I'll see you on the next one.